Well everybody, welcome back to another video where the last few videos on my channel have been about the DJI Action 5 Pro. Now, I absolutely love the Action 5 Pro, however I wanted to put it through all of its paces, which of course, instead of making an hour-long video, requires a few videos, and today I wanted to see exactly how much the Action 5 Pro can actually perform in an action situation. So there's a number of different ways that I personally would do this, or that I have a personal use for it. One of them is playing golf. I play a lot of golf, so my main channel is a golf channel, and I wanted to test out the Action 5 Pro to see would it have a place in my camera bag on the golf course. When I go to the golf course, I typically take all of my good camera gear, my FX30, my expensive Sigma lenses, and all of those sort of things to make sure that I have the highest production quality that I can personally produce. So if the Action 5 Pro is going to be in the camera bag on the golf course, then it needs to be able to keep up with everything else and make the whole video look like it actually belongs there and not something that's sort of tacky or, you know, a bit digitalized or anything like that. The next thing is I wanted to really test out, and we'll probably start here, I wanted to really test out the cinematic quality, or the cinematic options, I guess, or cases of use would probably be the best way to put it, for the Action 5 Pro, to see can I get that in 30 frames per second or even 120 frames per second on something that's fast action, fast moving. I still want it to be able to look cinematic and cool, and obviously people generally equate cinematic to 24 frames per second. You know, you get those people that jump in the comments and say it's not cinematic unless it's 24 frames per second. Yeah, well, whatever. But let's get down to the go-kart. It's called Slideways down here on the Gold Coast. Let's get down to Slideways. I have my son's friend's birthday and it's absolutely awesome, and this just looked incredible. Spoiler alert, but it looked incredible. Let's check it out. Okay, so now we've seen that. I mean, I was actually blown away by the quality of that. That was all edited as well, by the way, in the DJI app. So I just connected the Action 5 Pro to the DJI Mimo app. I went in and I did the log grading and everything in there, and it literally took 2 clicks. So that was absolutely amazing. I just hit color recovery and then I hit the filter that I like, which made it look that cinematic sort of blue tinge kind of thing, bluey green tinge, and phenomenal. I mean, so outside of, you know, throwing it into an editing program and getting really serious with the Action 5 Pro, the fact that you can just use an app on your phone for content creators and get that kind of quality out of it, I think personally is just absolutely insane. The next thing is the golf course. Now, the main priority for me to be able to use this camera and keep it in my camera bag is going to be that. So let's go down and see a compilation of using this on the golf course and see exactly what it can produce for us, and whether you think, like I do, that it should be in my bag, or am I just using it for the case of basically having it. So again, on the golf course, is it as good a quality as something like an FX30 or an A6700 or even an A7S4 or something like that? Like, no, it's not. But it's at a third of the price, and I think once you blend that in with a lot of those other cameras and you create that footage, it actually gives you a whole lot of different options. It gives you a whole lot of options in terms of viewpoints, because I can throw this little thing in a golf cup and I can putt into it and get that view from there. I can also throw it way up high on the selfie stick and I can get those shots which look incredible. I can't do that with a camera, and even if I could do it with the camera, if I've got a $5,000, $6,000 camera setup, I'm not going to hoist it up in the air just with my hands. And if I don't have a drone, or I don't have a drone handy, I do have a drone, and to be honest, what sometimes I find is that the drone to set up while I'm on the golf course and I've got the other cameras and all that sort of stuff is just too much. I almost need someone else just to do the drone footage for me. But if I've got this, I can throw that right up on the selfie stick and it gives me that drone-ish perspective. Now, obviously, I can't fly it like that. I can't, walk down through the water and make it look like a drone shot that way, but it gives me that different angle. And so in terms of being an action camera, if we're going to label it that, which is what it is labeled, then I think that it does exactly what's written on the tin. It is an action camera. It's something that's going to be a phenomenal use or an accessory to the other cameras that you might have. And if you're thinking about purchasing one of these to give you those different variants and to give you that different, I guess, viewpoint of engagement from the viewers, then you should definitely jump on the train of the Action 5 Pro, because you're not going to be disappointed, and it's going to enhance your footage and your creativity, which is what YouTube's looking for now. They've changed the algorithm on YouTube. They're not looking for people to do AI stuff. They want people who can be creative. They want people who can give different perspectives. So they want people who can tell a story from many different angles, not just one. And I think if you want to do that, then you're going to have something like the Action 5 Pro. But short, sharp, sweet, just like me. And that's it from me today, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.